Okay. Hello. Hello. I think it's working now. Let me check. Make sure. Okay. Things are on. My mic is going. I got a shirt on. I think we're good. Oh, yep. There it is. Set up my chat so I can see everybody. Oh, yeah. Cooking with gas today. Hello. Hello. I am here early. Things are working. Minimal technical difficulties because there's always got to be some. I don't think you could do this ever where there's not any technical difficulties. So, minor technical difficulties we can deal with. Cha-ching! All right. So, I'm back here on the whiteboard. I'm going to start making our list for today. I know you can't see it yet. I'm just gonna start doing this while people get the notification and see that I'm here, and then we'll get started. Oh, hi, Tarot Goddess! It's so good to see you. Thanks for being here. Hi, Judy. Thanks for being here. It's good to see you. I'm starting the list behind the scenes. How is everybody today? Is everybody good? Having a good weekend? Hi, Cousin B. It's so good to see you. Thanks for being here. The Oracle. Bingo. Bingo. Yep, that's what I do every time I hear that. Bingo. It's so good to see you. Thanks for being here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good weekend, a good Saturday, a good Father's Day weekend. Give some extra good positive vibes to all the fathers. Do you like to be called father or dad? I think it would be annoying to be called father. I know I get annoyed when I am called mother. It just sounds crazy. Oh man, my brain is all over the place. This is what happens after I'm sick. So when I'm sick and all my energy is going towards feeling better, then once I'm feeling better, then it just is it goes a little nuts. So I'm feeling better. Hi, Alex. Thanks for being here. It's good to see you. Okay, I'm gonna get some water, and then we'll do our opening. Eh, that's funny. And then we'll get started. Mm-mm-mm. All right. So we have our opening statement here. So we're going to open up our space to work in so that the energy is positive and free flowing and amplified. Amplified is always good. So here we go. Here's our starting statement. Welcome to Vibrant Numerals. Welcome to my sacred temple opportunity space. Welcome to healing with laughter, joy, peace, contemplation, and discomfort. Welcome to Vibrant Numerals. It's so funny because while I was reading that, all I could hear is somebody in the chat talking about, oh, she's not even gonna say nothing about this new fancy screen. I actually love it, and but also forgot that I got it working. So very special. Again, thank you. You know who you are, for all of your help in getting this set up. But I'm so excited because this new border has our code there on the side. So it'll be easier for you all to see the calculations that I'm doing and to do them along with me if you want to. I know it's not for everyone, but sometimes it's fun to actually see how the words get turned into those vibrations. Well, maybe it's only fun for me, and that's okay too. I'm all right with that. All right, what do we have to talk about today? So 942 was our vibration from last week. So we'll definitely look at that again. I think yesterday we talked about algebra. I mean, algebra is fun. I honestly, I probably shouldn't say this because but you all already know I'm like the biggest nerd ever. I really like trigonometry. Trigonometry is one of my favorites. Hi, Tim. It's so good to see you. Thanks for being here. Yep, trigonometry, one of my favorites. Crazy, I know. It's so cool though. I just love it. All right. We did talk yesterday. We can look deeper at boom. We'll look at those vibrations. Man, this is big. Maybe I gotta try right, not right so big. More of the board is showing, and why does that look so big? I don't know. It looks great. I mean, I know it's like big if I can read it like above the chat, because usually I can't. But hey, it looks wonderful. I also want to talk about Vince Staples' new album, Crybaby, that came out. It goes along like kind of eerily close to a lot of the things that we've been talking about over the last few months. So put that on the list too. Hi, Josh. It's good to see you. Thanks for being here. But what else should we put on this list? You have any we usually focus on hip hop today, but I'll take any numbers, lyrics, words, phrases. Let me know what else we should add to this list. This big list, man. I'm gonna try and I can write smaller. I'm gonna try and write smaller, or not. It just looks crazy. I mean, good, like crazy good, but oh yeah, there was the Boo Man interview. Do we have to, because to look at that one, we would want like what we did with the other interviews where we have the name of the interviewer, like who's doing the interview. That came out really weird. But we'd want to look at both Baby Keem's vibrations and energies and the vibrations and energies of who is interviewing him, so we can see that interaction. So if we can get that, we can definitely look at it. Wow, I didn't know that I'd be writing baby twice on here, and I wrote boom twice on here. What's up with that? Anything else? Okay, great, Judy. Interview. That actually is really hilarious, Josh. That Wow, that's actually hilariously diabolical. Whether it was planned or not. That if it wasn't planned, then the universe got cruel jokes. But we already know. We already know the universe likes to joke. And sometimes they hit a little deep. Okay. And then we'll put on here, let me know if there's anything else to add. But then we'll just put here our weekly vibration. I'm not gonna write vibration. I'm just gonna put this, little ampersand. That's not what this is. It's a hashtag. But what is this called? Like, what's the formal name of this like hashtag thing? I don't remember. uh, for our random number. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Hmm. Oh my gosh. That's funny. All right. So, while you're thinking if there's anything else that we need to add to this list, I will start with our vibration from last week. Oh, I think I put it on here already. Oh, did my past self hook my current self up? Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did. Oh, that's great. That's great. I don't know when I did this, but I did. Thank you, past self. So, this last week, our random vibration that we were looking out for is this 942. Um, it's interesting because we saw some of these themes when we were talking yesterday. So we saw 15 come up a couple of times yesterday. And there has been these discussions around if what we're doing is putting us deeper into bondage or is it helping us to be freed. So that one we definitely seen. The other one is this 94, where 94 is the numeric vibration of the planet name Uranus. And get used to it. We gonna be saying Uranus for like a really long time because it's highly active. That's funny. Uranus is highly active. Oh no. Okay, I gotta get used to saying that without laughing. It just sounds terrible. A little bit crazy. But 94. So whenever we see this 94, it is usually associated with Uranus, where Uranus is the planet of innovation. But one of the greatest innovations that we do is usually unexpected and it's usually revolutionary. So Uranus is the planet of unexpected changes. Unexpected. That's what is happening in my head. Changes. I didn't even spell it right. That's a little bit sad. Oh well. So Uranus is unexpected changes. Unexpected changes is innovation. So a lot of times the innovation are an unexpected shifts in what we're doing or changes to what we're doing, and then it becomes innovation. It also, if you think about it, a lot of the times innovation is not accepted when it first is coming through. It takes a while for people to accept the innovations or to see what the benefits, but also what the consequences of that innovation are. Because we have lots of innovations that were made for one purpose, and then some diabolical evil genius came around and turned it into something else. So, innovation is definitely like how we talk about these neutral vibrations, where it's both the positive and the negative from our perspectives wrapped up together. So unexpected changes, it does lead to innovation. The other thing that it leads to is, I need a different color. Oh, no. The other thing that unexpected changes leads to is revolution. So a lot of times unexpected changes, it's coming from revolutionary actions. It's revolution is a shift that usually isn't like quick and instantaneous, but it can still be unexpected, where it builds up over time. A shift or a change in the way of thinking, how things are done, and that along with innovation changes like our reality of things. And so Uranus is this planet of unexpected changes, innovation, and revolution. And it's highly active right now in the sign of Gemini. So, Uranus, um, in Gemini. Remember, Uranus in Gemini, this phrase is that 174 that we kept seeing all over the place. And Gemini is the sign of, it's one of the signs of communication. It's primarily communication between groups of people, like social communication. So we have this innovation, unexpected changes, revolution in this area of communication. This is also thinking. So the mind. Thinking. Or the mind. So we have revolution within communication and thinking and in the mind space. It's also innovation in communication, thinking in the mind space. So this is a dominant energy right now. The last thing I'll put is that if we just put, look how many times I wrote and have said Uranus just already. That's so crazy. If we just look at Uranus, Gemini, these two together equals 151. Oh, let me move this up. I got to keep looking at the screen to see where I'm writing. Make sure you can see it. Because I'm used to the old screen. It'll just take me a minute to get used to it. We'll get there though. Is 151, which is the same numerical vibration as the word revolution. So that means a couple of things. Because Uranus is the planet of revolution, we have that revolution vibration is really high. But then when we have the combined vibrations of Uranus and Gemini together, we get revolution again. So that means revolution is amplified. Every time Uranus has been in Gemini, so it takes Uranus about 84 years to get back around to the same place. So about every 84 years, when Uranus comes back to Gemini, the United States is in some kind of war. There is some kind of revolution, big, huge change, really across the world, but consistently in the United States. And we have this added thing that's happening that we talked about last week, where these energies of RE, even in here, that are 23, that resonate the same as the phrase I am. So it's this revolution is also really amplifying this need to look at the identity. Ew, look how that 3 turned out. My bad, that looks gross. So our number from last week, this 942, I didn't see like just the number itself, but these themes, especially around innovation and revolution, have come up. And we saw yesterday too, where we saw this 4 and these 2s coming up a lot also, and even the 9. So like the ending of cycles, the ending of division, and trying to establish stability. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to say about that. And we'll get a new random number vibration at the end. Okay. Let's see. Oh, you got it. Okay. So, Elise, not Elise? Is that like the whole, that's the name she goes by? Okay, and you got the length too. All right, so let's put that here. Lee. Oh my gosh. See, I know this board is good because I can see the board, but I sure can't read the chat still. Okay, there we go. Okay. Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. That's what I needed. That's perfect. Thank you, Judy. You know us creative types and our YouTube names. There we go. Okay, and you said the length. Okay. That's actually pretty interesting. Where can I put that? Let's put it over here. So 1 hour, 19 minutes, and 27 seconds long. Okay, cool. So we'll look at that. Nice. Okay, that'll be good on the list. So let's talk about Boom. So I know I've heard it lots of times and seen lots of reactions. Um, so I'm sure you all have too. So if there are particular lyrics that you really resonated with, let's look at those also. So I'll start with the general vibrations of the title of the song, along with the vibrations of the people in the song. And then if you have, see, I have a couple of lyrics too. But if you have particular lyrics that you want me to look at, you could put those in the chat. Sounds like a good plan, Vibrant. Thanks. I tried. I just needed to add some, chat commentary. All right. So, like, where do we want to start? Okay, we can just start with the song title name. I don't even want to like call it a late like a leak, because it really does feel more intentional than that. Yes, Judy. Yes. So let's look at Boom. Oh, look. Here's the first time where you can use the lovely chart. Wait, let me see. Can I see which side is it on? This side? This side? Nope. Yeah, it's on this side. Wait, this side? I don't know. Anyway, you see it up there. Just use that. So if we use our wonderful code that is now up on the border, where A equals 1, all the way through all of the letters till we get to Z of 26, then Boom is 2. I know, I could have figured it out, Judy. I just left it alone. I don't, oh, thanks, Josh. That's not helpful. I don't know what second side is. Is it up? Is it down? I don't know. You know this whole camera thing. I don't know what side is what. So Boom is 2 plus 15 plus 15 plus 13. So we have an amplification of that 15 vibration because we have the double O's in there. And 30 is the numerical vibration of a couple of different words that we've seen before. So 30 is the numerical vibration of the word fear, but also the word peace and the word ease. Ease. Not easy, just ease. So there in the middle, we have this 30. And so then when we add these together, we get 45, which is a 9. Embrace your wellness. Thanks for being here. It's so good to see you. You made it again. I'm getting excited to see you more and more and more. So we have 45, which is 9. And so this vibration of change is it's like enhancing and working with this vibration of foundations and stability, it feels like foundations here, because what it feels like is this change is coming in, and it's both building up some foundations at the same time that it's challenging other foundations and trying to tear them down. Because that combination is what's getting us to this 9, which is the end of cycles. So the end of thinking certain ways, certain kind of behavior, doing things certain ways. But we have seen this 45 before. Yep, sounds familiar. But it's interesting to think about how this 45 vibration is working, where it's bringing a change that's trying to rattle the foundations of things or build up certain foundations to bring an end to the cycle. Where we have seen this before is first, G and X also equals 45. So when G and X came in to the space and was released, it was bringing this change, changing what we were thinking, how we were interacting with the music, and it was shaking some of those foundations. So let me know what you think. But how I'm seeing it is that G and X was starting to tear down some of the foundations of these cycles of like how things were done. Like the number of tracks, like the number of features. These things are things that like have been kind of set in stone that you do it this way, and some of those are what we're getting torn down, in addition to the actual artistry itself, and in the lyrics of trying to change and point things out for like changing how people were thinking. It's like getting a change in perspective. Because if you're ending some of these cycles, if you're rattling some of these foundations that people are used to, then you can get people to start thinking in a different way or seeing the world in a different way. And so it felt very intentional in that way. Very intentional in that way. But then along our timeline, oh, is it next Sunday or this Sunday? Yes, exactly, Josh. That's a good one. That's a good one. You're right. That 45. Yep. And boom. Hey, good one. Good one. So then along our timeline, so we had G and X come in, bring some of those changes and rattle up some of those foundations. I'm trying to see what color I could use here. We'll use this other blue because I want to mark on here this 45 with boom. Could be a pew 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 pew. Yep. I don't know how else to. I just tried to make that connection. Yes, and that 45-inch record. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Let's do like that. I can write on here. 45-inch record. And a pew pew. All right, let me put this down a little bit so you can see everything. Okay, so we had G and X come in, bring some of these changes, shake up foundations, and try and end some of these cycles. The ways of doing things, the ways of thinking, and the behaviors that you know, because when you have those kind of automatic behaviors, um you don't recognize when they're no longer working for you, or when they're actually working against you, because you get so used to just being in those cycles. And GNX came and kind of pointed some of that out and shook things up. We then had our next 45, Iceman, is also 45. Hi, Rumpel. Thanks for being here. It's good to see you. So Iceman was 45. So whereas we had GNX that was coming in and bringing these changes to try and shake up these foundations and end the cycles, now we have Iceman coming in here, and it's trying to rebuild those foundations, reassemble those cycles, trying to end the cycles that were started with GNX. So GNX is trying to end these cycles and create new cycles, create new foundations, the new ways of doing things, new ways of thinking. And Iceman came in and now was trying to disrupt those new foundations before they could get really strong and sturdy. But we now have seen this next. Yeah. We've seen this next coming of 45. What color can I use here? And so now this week we've gotten this boom, this boom song, which is 45. So now it's now coming in and again shaking up the foundations of trying to change and do things a little bit differently, but it's connected to GNX. Like, I really like that it had the same image as the GNX album. And that might just be, you know, who posted it. They did that. But it is reiterating that there's this connection here. And it has a lot of the elements that were in GNX that was shaking up those foundations and trying to bring an end to certain cycles. So certain ways of thinking, certain ways of doing things, and build on this new foundation, create this new set of cycles, this new ways of doing things, new ways of thinking. So this is some of this progression that we've seen here. And so this is also where you can see that these vibrations are very neutral. Where this 45, the vibrations are the same, but it's the perspective from which we are looking at them, but also the perspective from which they are being presented, that gives us more clues of how that energy and that vibration is actually being used. Where you can see also the difference between using energy in an intentional way and unintentional way, because we see that difference here also, where all of these are 45, but you can see how some of them are using the energy of 45 in a very intentional way of trying to shake up or change, bring a change and end cycles, and others may not be as intentional. But also that intention can go both ways. That intention could be used for good or for evil. How are you going to use your intentions? And so, yeah, that's what we see. Ah, Yes, that's a good question. There are 9 parts to a cycle. So a cycle moves in a set of 9. So we'll go up here. So like when you look at like my monthly videos, which by the way, I'm going to be combining June and July. So you'll get information about June and then July hopefully next week. But when you look at those videos, I talk about these 9 cycles. So how energy and vibration moves is in this 9 cycle. It creates this like spiraling effect because what happens is as you're going through this 9 cycle, then you get to an elevated level. So let me show you. So the 9 cycle literally does go from 1 all the way to 9. And each of these is adding energy to wherever you're putting it. Like this is where your intention comes in. Like how are you intentionally doing these things, these parts of this cycle, to be able to build up the energy. And so you're going through, and I'll talk about each of these here in a second. You're going through each of these steps of this 9 cycle. Oh man, I'm gonna run out of room. 8, 9. Okay, had to concentrate real hard. There. So at each step, what's happening is this energy is building up in momentum. Energy is getting added to it's basically like how a snowball rolls downhill. So you start with the snowball at the top of the hill, you roll it down, and as it's rolling, it's adding that snow, it's adding that energy to the snowball. So, to what you are trying to build. So, when we think of manifestations, this is how the energy also moves for manifestations. But what happens is these 9 cycles, they pile up on top of each other, and so it more looks like a spiral staircase. So like when you are first starting to build up the energy, so it's like one is like bringing in something new. It's like your new idea. Ew, that W is gross. It's your new idea. It's your intentions. It's a new project. It's anything that's just getting started. And that starts this cycle, like here. And then it builds up. I don't know if I could draw this because, I'm not a very good drawer. Or you get to 9, but then it leaps up, and now you're on a second level, but it's still a 9 cycle. And so you're elevating this way. When you get stuck at any of these steps, that's when you get stuck on that lower level. So let's go through what each of these steps are in this 9 cycle. So you start with something new. It's a new set of energy. Then you are understanding what the extremes are, what the gaps are, and you're ending any divisions within your energy. So let's say we'll try something simple. Like we're starting a new art project and we want to build this art piece. So we start with the idea. That's the 1. Then the 2 is like, what are the pros and the cons? What are the benefits? What are going to be the challenges? What are the materials you can get and what do you not? So it's this dualism, and it's ending that. It's making the decisions to not get stuck on this back and forth is 2. Then you get to 3, which is growth. So now that you've made these decisions on your art project, what are the materials you're going to use? Where is it going to go? How big is small it's going to be? What are the benefits? What are the costs? All of that. Then you start growing the idea. You're not yet taking action on it. You're growing the idea. So this is like when you're still in planning phase, but now it's not just a little idea, but at that 2 space where you're making decisions, now you're able to start seeing that it's a possibility. And so now you can start growing it. You can start growing and thinking about all the possibilities that would go into that. Then we get to 4, which is setting the foundation. So what are the things that have to be set? Like, what is your structure? What is the system? What are the things that have to be stable for you to be able to continue to build? So what is the foundation of things? And that leads into now going to this 5 of change. This change is actually where you're identifying the gaps, you're identifying the cracks in the foundation, you're identifying where something can go wrong. And you're making the changes to make sure your foundation is really strong. Then when you get to 6, now this is establishing a place of comfort. So it's being really comfortable with the foundation of things. So if this is like your art project and you're like, okay, this art project is going to have this purpose and represent this. Like when we think about music, a lot of this, when you get in that artistic flow, you're doing this automatically. These steps are happening automatically when you're in vibrational flow for whatever you're doing, but they still occur. So there is some point where you're looking at, is the foundation that I've established for what I'm going to put out into the world, am I comfortable with how it is going to be presented in the world? Am I comfortable with how it's going to represent me, how it's going to impact other people, or represent the communities and the groups that I'm a part of? Sometimes people skip that step. But I think it's actually remembering that these are neutral. So it can also be that at this 6th step, you are wanting to make people feel uncomfortable, because in that uncomfortable place is when you actually learn the most. So if you're trying to help people get a different perspective and learn, you might want to make them uncomfortable, but it's understanding what that impact is. Then you get to the 7, which is taking action and flow. So you're not actually taking action until you get to 7. 7 is where that's the creative pocket. That's when you can feel the flow of the zone. You've built the energy up, so now it's beginning to flow, and you're able to just jump in there and be in the zone and flow with it and create. Yeah, 7 is beautiful. And then when you get to 8, 8 is now when you are, I need a different color. 8 is now creating these unending cycles. So this is like reap what you sow. It is like karma, but it's creating these unending cycles. So if it's like your project that you're doing is where you want to keep um producing the same thing, this is like where you are using automation. This is where you're creating the cycle that you want to continue. So when we think about like you can see this pretty clearly with most of our hip hop artists, whether for good or bad. But you can see how they create these cycles, and so then it's like, oh yeah, that's definitely classic Kendrick. That's a cycle that fits right into how Kendrick produces and puts art out. Oh, that's classic whoever. Like, you can see that because now these unending cycles become part of that identity, where you can see how they're using these cycles um, to be woven into all of their art. It becomes like their signature. So these unending cycles is your signature to things. It's how things are building on each other. So if you are someone that has lots of different little projects all over the place that don't really connect together, what you're doing is you're building this energy up to a point, but you're not taking advantage of what you've already built, because then you go somewhere else and you build again. I do this quite often. I have to stop myself. It's because of that Capricorn mind where I get all of these ideas and I just want to go to all the different ideas. But then what happens is I'm splitting that energy up instead of using that together to build the energy like that spiral staircase. 9 is getting to the end of the cycle. Now, we think about the end of a cycle as like, oh, that's a bad thing. It's not. It's very neutral, where you can end a cycle that's not working, that needs to be changed, and that could be a positive thing. But also, when you get to the end of this cycle, that's a point where now you can be ascended. It could be elevated. You're getting to the next level of this energy that you're building up. It's basically saying, oh, it's time to go to the next level, not just continue on this same level. Because if you continue on the same level, like you are just going through the same building of energy, the same cycle over and over again, then that's just a circle. And you're just going around and around and around and around and around and around and around. Or, like I was saying, with the multiple projects, you could have multiple circles here. But if you, with intention, think about how you can use the building of the energy together, now it becomes a spiral staircase where you're going through that cycle, you're getting to 9, and you're going up to the next level. So it's like the difference between, sorry that this is like such a long side quest, but I think it's important. So if the first cycle, like the first level is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and actually I should be, let me put this down here. There. I thought I was gonna have to rewrite it, but I don't, because I'm smart. I'm so smart, smart, smart. 7, 8, 9. And then that shoots you up to this next level where now it's 10, which is a 1, 11, 12, 13, 14. So these next level holds a higher amount of energy. It doesn't mean that it's like better than, it's just a different amount. It's like having different cup sizes. So we're moving from, a small to a medium. Oh my gosh. 7, 8, 9. Yes, is hilarious. 18. And then that sends you up to the next level. You see it? You seeing the pattern here? So then 19, 20, 21, 22. So you're moving through these 9 cycles to be able to build up the energy. And so if you're able to connect your energy building together, then this is how you are able to get to a point where you bring it into reality. So when we think about like manifesting something, when you're manifesting a change in your life, or you can even think about it as manifesting something tangible. We're going to manifest a new car. The new car is not coming out of nowhere. What's happening is the energy is building up through these 9 cycles. So and that's where what we have been doing to manifest has been working, where it's like having your vision board, giving you the repetition of reminding yourself of what you're trying to do, really focusing in. That has been enough to build these energy streams to be able to manifest. But if you notice, when we manifest that way, we usually don't get exactly what we're trying to manifest. So we might get a car, but it's not the car we actually wanted. Sometimes it is. But what we're trying to do is now be more intentional in how we're building that energy, adding intention into that process. So we're not just doing the repetition, but we're intentionally building the energy. We're thinking about each one of those steps so that you're building the energy to manifest. With the intention, now you can be more powerful in what you're actually bringing forth. I hope that's making sense. And I hope that's answering your question, because I know that was kind of drawn out. But if you look at things that have manifested in nature, so like how wind currents move, or even something simple, if you look at the inside of a shell and you see that golden ratio, that spiral, that is the 9 cycle at work. That's the building of the energy to create. That's how nature and the universe creates. And so, by us understanding that, not just understanding it, but reverencing it and respecting it, so that we can get in tune with how the energy in the universe and in nature is just naturally moving, then we can begin to create in the same way. Things are really hard when we're out of vibrational flow. Usually it's because we get impatient. and we try and rush things. It's like we try to go from 1 to 7, and we skip all of the steps, the necessary steps in between. If you skip those steps in between, now you're not actually building up enough of the energy that you need to actually create it. This also is how we get to a place of like burnout with things, um, because we don't actually go through the whole cycle to build it up in a very vibrational flow, natural kind of way. We try and force it because then we're using our own energy to do things, and we're not using the energy that is just naturally provided to us by the universe. Because, like, what nature creates, what the earth creates, that is free flowing. It happens. It just happens. That's actually how we should be living and moving as well. So, good sidetrack question. So, this is similar to that because if you think about it, where GNX here like got this news cycle started and got to all the way from 1 to 9. And then here comes Iceman also starting from 1 going to 9. The difference now is now that we have this boom is coming in, it's now starting that second level. So it's taking what was built with GNX and it's now spiraling upward to bring in a higher level of energy. That's how those cycles can be working together, how your projects and what you're doing can be working together to build up more energy. And also that flow is what we call momentum. So where we've said, oh, it's very clear that a momentum was started mid year 2024 for Kendrick Lamar, and he was able to keep adding these projects and these things that he was doing on to continue that momentum. It was adding on to the 9 cycles that were already being built, what was already being built. It wasn't a brand new thing. So you can even go all the way back to section 80 and even before, where when Kendrick Lamar was just getting started, those, if you look, his projects do build on each other. There's connection points between them. So the momentum that we witnessed from 2024 until now, it wasn't actually started with GNX or even with the battle. It was started way before, and he was just using that momentum. That's what it looks like when you're using your energy in those 9 cycles in an intentional way. Okay. Tired and sunburned, but that sounds like a pretty good day. Hopefully you had a good day, Alex. Let me look and make sure I didn't miss anything in the chat and drink my water so I don't get a headache. Of course, you've been thinking about this all day, Josh. You're right there in that vibrational flow. Okay, cool. I don't know what you're talking about, Rumpel. I'm just saying what comes to my head that somebody else put there. So this is, I think, really interesting to look at. And then the other thing, let's see. Did you have any lyrics that you wanted to look at? I don't know who you're talking to, Rumpel. Let me know what lyrics from Boom you might want to look at. I'm going to just real quick look at the vibrations of how the artist's names are resonating together. No lyrics. Oh, yeah, that's a good one, Alex. Yeah, we can look at that. So let's see. So I did these already, but now that we have, I don't know the side. Again, now that we have our beautiful code, you can double check these. But Kendrick Lamar, I know. Now, like, my terrible handwriting is like in 3D. That's okay. Is 120. And J Rock, I guess we could use different colors here. J Rock is 83, which is the same numerical vibration as the word wisdom. So J Rock bringing that energy of wisdom. And then Ray Vaughn. His numerical vibration of his name is 117. And so then if we add all of those together, so you can do this with your name and other people's names. We're doing it with the artist. We're trying to see how their vibrations are interacting with each other. One thing that I think is interesting that I will add here is that if we just look at J Rock and Ray Vaughn, they're adding 200 vibration. So those two together are bringing a double dose of this God, universe, higher power energy in the zero. And so this God, universe, higher power energy is really driving or enhancing this ending of division. And then you could see, this is to show you where the connection points are between their vibrations. So you know how sometimes there's a feature and you can feel the vibrational shift. Usually we don't like it when that happens. When there's one artist and then it goes to the next artist and it just feels abrupt. It doesn't feel like it flows together. That's usually when they don't have these vibrational connections. We a lot of times look at it and think it's their lyrics, but most often it's how their vibrations are actually connected. Um, so J Rock and Ray Vaughn together are bringing this 200 vibration that then is connecting here with the 0 for Kendrick Lamar, which again is that God, universe, higher power energy. And it is again enhancing, amplifying this end of division. So those are the big connection points between them. So that's how you can see this vibrational flow moving. So then if we go back down to here, you wouldn't necessarily see that unless you looked at those connections. You can also look at it like where we've done before, where we have a triangle, and you put each one of them on a point, and then you can look at, all right, Kendrick Lamar with Ray Vaughn, what's that vibrational interaction? What's the vibrational interaction between Kendrick Lamar and J-Rock? And you can add those up and then get the middle point. We can see the connections easier here, so that's why I didn't do that this time. But that is one way that you can actually look to see how are these vibrations of not just in like a group of artists working together, but you can look at this at like in your family. You can look at how those vibrations are moving together. You'll probably clearly see who has easier communication and connection points between each other. Where is it a little bit rough? You can also look like with coworkers. I've done this with like project groups to kind of look at like how that's flowing together. When we add all of this up, we get 320. So again, we have this 0, this God, universe, higher power energy that's enhancing this 32. 32 is that 5, so it's enhancing the change that's being brought. Very specifically, this end of division. The other thing is, I've actually been seeing this, I've been seeing 32, but also this 320 or 3,200 a lot recently. And I don't know for sure, but what I think it is when you have, so we already just talked about those 9 cycles. So when you have a certain vibration energy building through those 9 cycles and it builds something, the only way to truly break that down, because energy cannot be created or destroyed, the only way to really break that down is with the exact same vibration. So the exact same energy has to come and use it in a different way or take it away. And 32 is actually the life path number of the United States. So July 4th, 1776, this adds up to 32. And so I'm seeing that a lot more, where a lot of these things are popping up where it's like, oh, there's these vibrations of 32 coming together, and it's challenging what has been built from this other 32 vibration over time. I just thought that was interesting. And then we see it again here with these 3 artists together on this song. We can also look at, can also add in here, we take the 320 of these artists together, and we add the 45 from the song title, see more interactions of these vibrations, where now we're getting 365. And when you think of 365, you think of that annual cycle. It's the whole year, 365 days in this Gregorian calendar year. So it's a bigger cycle. So we have those nines that are showing that 9 cycle, but then we have this 365, which is automatically thinking about that annual cycle. That's kind of cool. All right. So what we got? All right, let's look at Pop Tart. Let me know if you have any other questions or if you have any other lyrics from this one that you want to look at. Let's look at Pop Tart, because that is a good one. Pop Tart. So the first thing that we can see right off the bat is both of these words are those portal numbers, where it's amplifying the number that is in the middle. So because we have a P here at the beginning and a P here at the end, and P, by the way, oh, well, you can see over there on our little code, is 16. So we've seen 16 a lot recently also. But they want to be near each other because they are the same vibration. So they're creating this portal way that's drawing forth this O. And O is 15. So here again, we have the vibration of bondage, where it's a choice between bondage and freedom. So, is being a Pop-Tart freeing you? Or are you putting yourself in bondage behind an identity that is not authentically you? Then we can look at, so this word pop. Ah, too far. So 16 plus 15 plus 16 gives you 47. 47 is the numerical vibration of the word time. It also is one of those vibrations that's attached to that 11-2 story, where it's showing you where that split, that division, that polarization is. That polarization is existing here, and it's really needing to end that energy. So we got time in here making an appearance. Then on this other side, now we have the two T's here that are doing, ew, I don't like that, that are doing something similar, where they are creating this portal because they're wanting to be near each other. And so it's bringing forth this AR, where A is 1 and R is 18. So this is the vibration of 19. And is 20. So pop is 47. Tart is 59. And if we do 59 plus the 47, we get 106. And we still have this, two of these 16s up here, and now we have this 16 vibration again, but with the 0 in the middle. And that 16, that is the vibration of, in the tarot, well, Alex, you know this, it's the Tower. So using this term Pop-Tart towards somebody, it's like pointing out the tower that's about to fall. Hey, 1 and 6 in Park. I remember that show. Is it still on? Oh, it can't be still on. I don't know. Maybe it is. Let me see, because I think I saw a word or term this week that also was 106. I write so much that I don't want to go back farther than probably a week. Well, because then we can also see where that same vibration has been displayed in the same week. And it's only if I caught it. You know, it's all over the place. But let's see. 106. 106. So 6 is the examination of comfort zones. What comfort zones do you have that are good, that are for the greater good? And which comfort zones should you not have, should you not be comfortable with, and need to get rid of? That's that energy of 6. And then the 1 is something new. The 0 in the middle, it's that God, let me get a different color here. This 0 in the middle, it's the God universe energy telling you that this comfort zones, what's happening in the comfort zones, and how comfortable you are is not as important as the new energy that's coming in. So anything that's to the right of a 0, it's getting dampened, it's getting diminished. Its vibration, it's like how loud it is. Whereas whatever is on the left is getting enhanced. So the universe here is telling us this is a definite tower moment, but don't pay so close attention to how comfortable or uncomfortable you are. That's not the point. The point to focus on is what's new. So we already know, like, where this term Pop-Tart was used in calling somebody Pop-Tart. We already know where those uncomfortable places are, where we see what they are comfortable with and how it makes us uncomfortable because we're like, you really should not be comfortable with that. But instead, focus on the new information that you're getting from that space. That's what this energy is trying to open up for us. Interesting. There is a 106. Not what I expected. Well, I don't know. Is it ever what I expect? Usually not. But 106 is also the word financially. Which is also interesting in itself. And this is where I was looking at the difference between being financially bankrupt versus being morally bankrupt. So that adds a little bit of context. That's a good one. That's a good one. Let's see. Is there any more that we want to do? Or are we ready to move on? You let me know. Because we already saw go side to side yesterday. I don't think I have any others unless you have another one you want to look at. I'll get some water while I wait. Uh-oh, what's happening with my chat? Okay, I gotta make sure. Because I don't know, does your YouTube does that sometimes, where sometimes it seems like it switches me back from all chats to top messages. Like it switches it on its own. So I have to check every now and then and make sure that I'm getting everything. Exactly. Yes, Josh. Yep, exactly. Yeah, we have been seeing that a lot. Well, we've been seeing it for months wherever we see the 16 of the tower. That once you recognize that that tower is there and it's going to fall, you have to take action. And you have to remember that the biggest changes and transformations we can make in our life, we do from a place of being uncomfortable. If you are comfortable, you're way less likely to change. So I like how you said taking action within your comfort zones. I would say you would add to that where it's within how comfortable you are, but also the level of discomfort. Because if you are becoming uncomfortable with your comfort zones or something is making you uncomfortable, you're more likely to change. You're more likely to take the action towards change. That's not always the case though, because sometimes you want to take action within your comfort zone. It's like a lateral movement. But if you want to make a change, then you have to have a level of discomfort. I like that though. Okay, cool. All right. I'm not missing any chats, so I assume there's not any other lyrics we want to look at. So we'll go back over here. I think because we just looked at boom, let's look at these vibrations for the Baby Keem interview, and then we'll come back to Vince Staples. Sound good? Because we did boom, then we could do boom man. I think that's a good transition. Oh my gosh, let me see if I can grab all this so I don't have to rewrite it. Yes. Yes. Yes, 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 Josh. Yes. Wonderful. And that is being intentional. Because if you're in a state of awareness where you understand what is positive and what is negative, and you have the right amount of both, which is balance, It's not having the same amount. It's having the right amount of both, that then you're able to get to a place where you can be very intentional with your actions. Ooh, cough. Because that's where we want to get. We want to get where we are able to be intentional with our actions, not just taking action willy-nilly. Well, because that's what we've been doing, and the earth and the universe has been telling us for at least a year. We've been talking about this for at least a year now, if not more, that it is time to look at doing things in a more ascended way, doing things a little bit different, so that now we can go to this next level. And a big thing about that is acting with awareness in an intentional way, being intentional. Not saying, oh, we're going to go this way because it feels good, but understanding why it feels good and then making that intentional decision to go that way. It's much more powerful when you act with intention. Let's see if I actually made this work. You know, I'm so not confident right now. Because it did not look right, but we'll see. Okay. We got most of it. I got most of it. Let me get the eraser out. I don't know what this is, but it's not part of what we are doing. We can get rid of this 4. Get rid of this. I don't know what you are, but you're not part of this. So you could go away. Goodbye to you. And then we will add, because it's Elise, not Elise. So we lost one here. So I don't know if you've watched the whole interview. I've only seen the snippets that reactors have been using this week to talk about it. So if you've seen more than that, then you can give me confirmation or differences that you saw. So the first thing that I think is really interesting is that her channel name as the interviewer is a portal in itself. And one of the biggest things that we saw with Baby Keem's Casino album was that it was one big portal, where, let me move this over just a bit. I don't know if I made it worse or better. But with Casino, we saw it start with the word no in the first title, and then the last track also had no. And so it was creating this portal for the whole album, just with those vibrations. So it was amplifying everything through. Then it's interesting that she's creating this portal with her name, and this no is appearing here again as part of not. I just thought that was interesting. Like, it kind of stood out to me. So let's look at her name. So 5 plus 12 plus 9 plus 19 plus 9 plus 5 is 59. Hey, where did we see 59 before? Didn't we just see 59? Oh yeah, tart. So tart is 59. So this 59 vibration is sneaking in here again. Oh, and it is that vibration of 14 that we actually were seeing a lot of yesterday and bringing in that 5 of change. So we have 59 being used to create a portal where it is enhancing this knot in the middle, which is 49. So here we have all these nines again. What is 9 talking about? Because look, we have all these 9s again in her name. We have 3 9s again, and we just saw with GNX to Iceman to Boom was 45, so 999. And here's that 999 again. Kind of interesting. So let's see. Oh, that's interesting also. So when we add all of these up, so 59 plus 49 plus 59 is 167. And we saw this 167 a couple weeks ago when we were looking at freedom of speech, which is 176, but we were looking at how these vibrations of 1, 6, and 7 were kind of rotating and working together to highlight this need to really recognize the freedom of speech and how we are contributing to the fight to retain it and the fight against any of this tyranny to take it away. So here we have again this these vibrations of 1, 6, and 7 coming together. And I think I saw 167 somewhere. Let me just look real quick. Oh, so yeah, I actually just wrote it today. So 167. So we know that 67 is the numerical. Oh, let's use different color. Is the numerical vibration of the word soul in English, and also the word water. And then the one that I wrote down today is 167 is the phrase a wait, that doesn't make sense. Oh, okay. I see what I did. It's not 167. It's 176, which is the same as freedom of speech, but I just wrote it down today, and it's the beautiful chaos. So that's interesting. Okay, let me see. Did I write down a 167? I think it was just there where I was thinking about again this triangle use where this movement of these vibrations were creating all of these different vibrations that were working together. So like 167 is like that starting point. It's a point where you can come in to like a smaller individual level to get to the bigger picture. Let me actually see real quick if I still have it up, because I was looking at some of those vibrations. I must have closed it. Oh, yeah, I closed it. Oh well, that's okay. Um, but it was a couple weeks ago that we were looking at this before. All right, so her name is resonating at 167. Now, let's look at the vibrational connections with both. Let's do both Boo Man and Baby Keem. Because I think when he's being interviewed, he uses Baby Keem. But it will be interesting to see what the difference is. Because this can show, like, demonstrate, and we used Baby Keem's use of all his different names. Thank you again, Josh, for doing all that research, where these different names can resonate in different ways. That also is where your intentionality can come into play. So when you go into a certain space, using a particular name can change how you're interacting with that space and with people in the space. So Boo Man is 60. And then, so Boo Man 60 plus the 167 of Elise, not Elise, or Elise, not Elise, gives us 227. Oh, I could do a different color. We could do a different color. We got enough colors up here. Let's see. We could do gray. And this 227 is playing into that story of 11 to 2, looking at where there are divisions, where is there polarization. So if it's a presentation, an interview between Elise, not Elise, and Boo Man, here we're getting this interplay of really looking at what these divisions and polarizations are, and how to be able to end that division. So if it's here, then you would expect to see a lot of the questions be around, like, what extreme are you at? Do you choose this or do you choose that? So that's this 227 vibration. Where do you stand on these things that are kind of polarizing? That would be 227. Then if we look at Baby Keem, where it's BA, so 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 25 plus 11 plus 5 plus 5 plus 13 is 64. So Baby Keem is 64. And if we do 64, so if it's Baby Keem in the interview with Elise, not Elise, now need a different color. I don't know why I like have so many issues with this. Choosing a color when we got so many colors here. Now we're getting this 2, 3, 1, which is a 6. And so here we have this 23 of I am, and this energy of new. So it is like a countdown, but it's like asking for new information about the identity within or outside of his comfort zone, because this 6 is comfort. And because they both have, in both places, we see there's a 6 in both set of names. That means that both of these individuals are probably really comfortable with each other. Like, it wouldn't take long for them to establish a rapport and be comfortable with each other in order to be able to have this interview. So there's a connection point between those vibrations. So if you've seen the whole interview, whenever it was questions around choice, what do you choose? That was probably tapping into that boom man identity. Versus if it's really about identity and getting new information about who he is and his identity and where he's going, that is probably more Baby Keem. But it does feel like, just from the little snippets that I was looking at and I saw, it feels like it's a combination of these two. So if we do 60 plus 64, so both of these vibrations of Boo Man and Baby Keem together, so 60 plus 64, we get 124, which is the numerical vibration of the phrase, I love you. So if he was intentionally bringing both of these identities into this interview space and was using that energy from both of them to answer these questions, you could get a big sense of, oh, I love this kid. Like, the way he's answering what he's doing, I love that. Okay, I'm gonna wait a minute because it looks like I got some lag happening. I don't know from which end, so let me know. Okay, so I think the last thing, unless you have other questions or other things to add to this is very interesting. I like looking at how people's vibrations are working together. If you have a video or anything that has a time like this, so What you would do is you add these up as individual um, vibrations. So it'd be 1 plus 19 plus 27. And when we add that together, we get 47, which again is that numerical vibration of time. So we have Tart down here with her name, and then we have Pop here again with time, which I think is, I just thought that was funny. I had to point that out. How we have these vibrational flows in what we're talking about. Okay, that was a good one. That was fun. Uh, uh, uh. Oh my gosh, better not forget that. Oh my gosh. I love the dad jokes. All right. Oh, that's weird. Let's get a different color to cross this out. There we go. Okay, so mm, let's talk about Vince Staples' Crybaby. You're right, Josh. That is kind of funny. I know there's like a huge delay all over the place, so I'm gonna try and get through this last one pretty quickly and figure out what's going on. The king of Pop Tarts. Oh my gosh. That that feels and sounds kind of disrespectful, but I don't know why. Oh my gosh. And now I gotta look and see what that is. King. Oh wow. Oh wow. Okay, that's interesting. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right, let's. So, I went back and forth about talking about Vince Staples' Crybaby only because I haven't been able to listen to it all the way through yet. And I usually don't like to talk about things until I've seen it all myself. So then I get the full picture of the vibrations that are happening. But it's too relevant to not bring up. Especially right now. So I was looking at. So Vince Staples just came out with a new album called Crybaby. And just from it only has 10 tracks on it. And I'm probably a little bit more than halfway through. Like to, like, yeah, about, I think I'm at track 6 right now. So, like, right at the middle. And so, uh, what I've listened to so far, This is what we would consider protest music, revolution music. Have you all listened to it? Um, I'm actually really enjoying it. It's thought provoking, and it's actually extremely relevant for the time we're in right now. It's extremely tapped in to those vibrations that we were talking about previously of Uranus and Gemini, where this is the vibrations of um, revolution in communication or communicating revolution or communicating in a revolutionary way. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, I didn't want to miss out on it. I just haven't had a time to look at all of it yet. Um yeah, it's really good. It's one of those it's reminding me of some of the um music that's coming out of that punk rock space, or when or how in the hip hop space, like borrowing some of that rock and punk is making that connection to those revolutionary messages and like the protest or advocacy kind of music. I'm sure you are. Oh my goodness. I was wondering what you were going to come with this time. Rumple. All right. So for this one, I was actually really curious to look at all the vibrations that I could for him as an artist. So for Vince Staples, because I hadn't looked at that before. So I'm trying to think. Let's let's actually start with him as an artist. I'm sure you are. Just doing your job, right? Oh, I love it. You all crack me up. So let's first look at his name. So Vince Staples. So using our little code book over there on the side, Vince is 53 and Staples is 92. Um which is interesting because this 92 is the numerical vibration of the word duality. And it's another one of those 11 to 2 stories. So, this energy of duality, the polarization, the pointing out where the divides are, is already baked into his artist name. And I think most, even if it's subtle or passive, most of the work that he's put out has had some of this in there, some of this pointing out of where the divisions or the polarization is, or trying to create those uncomfortable feelings of polarization to get people's attention. This album definitely does that, where it feels very, and again, I've only listened to half of it, but it does feel very intentional in how it's pointing out comfort zones that we and nobody should be comfortable with. So he's already got that vibration kind of baked into his name. When we do 53 plus the 92, it's 145. So his name is 145. Here we got that 45 again. Again, we have the 45. So, but with this 45, it's this ending, this change that is bringing the shaking up of these foundations, is like opening up space for this new energy. So then this is giving us that 10-1 energy. It's the God universe energy of the zero, really supporting and enhancing the one, the new energy that's coming into the space. Vince Staples' birthday. I thought this was interesting too, because we just looked at Koala's birthday on the 1st. Vince Staples is the 2nd. Not of the same year, but interesting that this piece of work he was completing, putting the finishing touches on, and releasing when Jupiter, the planet of expansion, is in that Cancer space. So anyone with that Cancer energy, so any of your major planets, sun, moon, rising in Cancer, is getting a boost from this expansion energy of Jupiter. His so when we do the life path number, we add up the digits of the year first, and then add the month and the year. And so this is 31, which goes to a 4. So his ultimate contribution to the vibrational space is to shake up and change foundations, but also to help build the foundations of new things. So it is interesting that his name gives us this 1, and then he has the 1 here as the first step on his life path. So understanding not just when to recognize when something new is needed, but to have the energy to express things that are new, or in a new way, is what he's essentially made to do. He's made to bring these new energies, these new ideas, these new ways of thinking, the new ways of doing things into the space so that we all are able to grow from it. That's, yeah. So far, yeah, this is making so much sense for that Crybaby album. So then if we do his name, 145 plus the 31, we get 176. So here's that where we keep running into it, the 1, 6, and 7, but 176 is the freedom of speech. So the freedom of speech, that whole phrase does resonate at 176. And his name with his life path number also resonates at 176. So it would make sense that not just this album, but his artistry is really centered around being revolutionary. Because not only is this freedom of speech here, but you would be very revolutionary, doing lots of new things in new ways when you have a lot of this one energy. And he's got a ton of it. Very interesting. So then let's look at Crybaby. And so if we use our little code that now is right there on the side of the screen, cry is 46. Baby is 30, which we saw earlier is the numerical vibration of the word fear. Also, the numerical vibration of the word peace. And the numerical vibration of the word ease. And that's interesting for the word baby in English. Because, like, when you think of a baby, you can have some fear around, like, how are you going to take care of this baby? But also, how are they going to act? And when a baby is at peace, when a baby is at ease, everybody around them is also. When that baby is not at peace or not at ease, everybody around that baby is in turmoil. And I think that matches with a lot of the messaging that's coming through this album as well. Well, again, from the part I've seen. When we do 46 plus 30, Crybaby is 76. And his name is 176. So we have this 76 energy that is resonating very loudly with this combination. So this could be, I'll be interested to see what the reactors say about this, but because of this 76 here together, especially because when you do 7 plus 6, you get 13 of transformation. Then it's an enhancement of that 76 energy because it's here twice. It's an enhancement of this wanting and needing to create this transformation. And this transformation is coming from really questioning, shaking up these comfort zones, making people comfortable and uncomfortable at the same time, and trying to get people into take action. And that's what he does already because he has that 76 here in his name with his life path number. So this album, again, I'd be interested to see what the reactors say about it, but it feels like this would be one where it would feel very much like this is like a classic for him. It's like a statement piece. So as artists, you have like these statement pieces, like these things that, or these parts of your art that are very much all about who you are, and like they represent like your legacy. It's like a legacy point. That's what this energy feels like. If we do the 176 plus the 76, we get 252. So here we have a portal number again. We've seen quite a few of these in the last couple days, where this ending division, pointing out where the divisions and polarizations are, is creating a portal that is bringing forth change. Okay. That's interesting, Josh, because then it would be very interesting to see how this compares to what his greatest work have been so far. I'll be interested to see what you think, what your opinion of it is. And this is interesting because where he has all this one energy, then this 252 adds up to a 9. So he's bringing in all this new energy to focus on ending cycles with this crybaby piece of work. Yeah. Yes, please do. Please do. So I think the last thing I'll do is just look and see if I encountered any other words or phrases that resonate at that 252. Let's see. I don't see any. Okay. There are a lot of, I do see a lot of these portal numbers where there's ones on either side, but we're starting to get more of these 2 on either side. Oh, I just found one. And it's actually from the lyrics of Boom. So, from the Boom lyrics, the phrase with godly vibrations equals 252. So that's interesting. That's an interesting phrase to be connected to. So then I think after I'm able to listen to it again, and hopefully you all are able to listen to it again, we can check back on this I think next week. We could put it on our list for next week to look at it again and see. And we can look at, if you want to, we can look at all the track list like how we did for Casino and see how those vibrations are kind of weaving together. Yeah, I think that would be good. Okay. Anything else? I know there's like a big old lag. So I'll try and wait extra to see if there was anything else to add or any questions there. I'll get some water. That was a good day. These were interesting. Okay. Okay, I just saw your message, Josh. Yeah, I think that'll be good. We'll do that next week. Okay, are we ready to spin our wheel? Spin the wheel. I'm trying to let you catch up because I know I'm lagging. I don't know where. Okay, good. All right, so let's put this up. And let me get over to our wheel. Okay, so like to say it every time, we always spin our random number wheel to give us a random, not so random number or vibration to look at or look for throughout the week so we can get used to being aware of the vibrations around us, how we are impacting those vibrations or using that energy in those vibrations, and then also how they are impacting us. So, this is our practice. So, here we go. Let's spin that wheel. Wait, will it click? Woo! Okay. That's interesting. So I thought we were done with these tower vibrations, but I guess not. Let me turn off our wheel. Oh, oh, oh. We're not ready for that yet. There we go. So 196 is the vibration that we're looking for this week. Now, we won't see it necessarily as a, no, we won't see it as a time, but you could see it on license plates, you could see it on receipts, anywhere there's numbers, which is pretty much everywhere. And so, what we want to look for is both these numbers, but also the themes. Yeah, I think it is. I think it is, Josh. But so 196 is having us look at our comfort zones and asking us the question of which comfort zones do we need to get rid of because they're not serving us anymore? It's not serving us to be comfortable in that way, or it's really bad. Like, if we are establishing that it's really bad to be comfortable with those things, we need to take a look and we need to change things. And then by doing that, now we can end the cycles that were created from those comfort zones. And by ending those cycles of those comfort zones that we no longer want or need, then it opens up the space for new energy to come in, new thoughts, new ideas, new comfort zones. If we add these up, so 1 plus 9 plus 6 is a 16. So here's again where I thought we were done. I knew we weren't done, but I thought like it wasn't as amplified as anymore with this tower energy. But we've seen it, what, at least twice just today in talking about these vibrations. And here it is again. And then this takes us to the 7 of action in vibrational flow. So taking action in flow, that perfect combination of the masculine with the feminine and them really working together. Recognizing and respecting both. So very interesting. Oh my gosh. I didn't see that comment, Josh. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. You're so funny. All right, so that is our vibration for this week. Keep a lookout for it. Thank you all for being here. Please make sure that you hit that like button on your way out if you didn't hit it on your way in. And it's great seeing you all. And let's do our ending statement. So I know there's lag, but I'm going to go ahead and go through it, and then I'll wait for you to catch up to be able to say goodbye. So here we go. Please apply the vibrational healing you take with you and come back soon for another healing dose. Always remember, I see you, I hear you, I feel you. You are love. You are healing. You are whole. I love that. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. I will be live again on Wednesday on Twitch, and then I'll be back here again on Friday. So have a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful week. Thank you so much.